I'm going to tell you this story before he hooks up here. I don't know if this is tellable on this interview or not, but I was at home with my ex-wife. Now ex-wife. I got a phone call. I was on a session, and she says, Bill, I just accepted a double record date for Pat Williams from Surface. I said, you're crazy. I'm working with Jimmy Roselli down in Atlantic City. I can't do this. I was in Atlantic City. I said, I can't do this. There's no way I can do this. She said, well, you do what you want. It's your problem.
No.
So now I get off the phone. I think, well, Pat Williams, let's see. He writes some very nice stuff for me to play. You know, I ought to try this. So I called a sub, and I don't remember the guy's name, but he was sort of a redheaded guy and a nice trombone player. Nice guy. And I told him he could cover me for one set. Okay, and so Billy Dennison was Jimmy's conductor, and I called Billy. I said, Billy, here's what I'm going to do. I said, I got a double session, but I'm going to come up with the stories. And he said, well, you better be cool, because Jimmy's going to wonder what you're up to. I said, well, I'm going to tell him my father just had a stroke. He's in the hospital, and I got to be there. I'm going to miss one set. So he said, well, be careful. Don't tell anybody. Don't let your wife answer the whole thing. Okay, so now I get to Columbia 30th Street, and it's a comedy album called When You're in Love, the Whole World is Jewish. Shtick, shtick, and I'm playing third trombone on top of it all. And I'm thinking, I'm down here risking my life for this, Jesus Christ. So now I get done with the second section, I rush out, I grab a cab to the Port Authority, I get a bus, headed towards there. It's winter, it's fucking cold, and I'm beating the bus driver to get me there. And now, what happens, while I'm doing all this, the phone rings in my house, and this stupid wife answers it. She says, hello, she says, is Billy Watrous there? He says, well, no, he's at the hospital, his father's very sick. He said, well, I need to talk to him right away. I have 8 record sessions at triple scale. She says, oh, well, he's at Columbia 30th Street recording with Pat Williams.
No.
And he says, okay, give me a message for him. Tell him his father just died. You know who this is? It's Jimmy Roselli. Fuck him and fuck that schifoso that you are. Now, this bitch didn't have the decency to let me know while I was at Columbia 30th Street. So I'm whipping down the bus. The bus lets me off 2.5 blocks in the snow. I'm carrying my horn, slipping and sliding. I get there, and I finally walk in, and I get to where, the stage is off here. I could see it through there, and there's a trombone laying on a chair with a light shining on it. And I see my sub, who's a redheaded guy, and now he's ash white. And Bart Barcelona, who was the bass trombone player, said, hey, Billy, he says they found out about it. They're waiting for you in the dressing room. Be cool. I said, be cool? I'm going to die. How the fuck am I going to be cool? I'm going to be cool here. And I'm thinking, oh, what kind of prayer? And I'm walking towards the dressing room. I walk in, and there's Jimmy in the bathrobe with a big, long Italian cigar. And Rocky, Nunzio, Clarky, Carmen, and Dutch. And Rocky is standing there with a stiletto, carving his nails. And Jimmy says, there you are, you schifoso. He says, you all, like all you musicians, you're all whores, every one of you. He says, you're not worth the space you take up on earth. Tell him, Rocky. He says, yeah, Jimmy says you shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have done this at all. He says, you're not a good guy. He says, we respect good guys. You're not a good guy. And tell him, Jimmy. And Jimmy says, yeah, we'll tell you. We'll tell you something. And listen, he says, you obviously aren't afraid of physical violence or you wouldn't have shown up here. So we're going to get you where whores like you get it the most, in your pocketbook. You're not getting paid for this weekend. Get the fuck out of here. And I said, thank you very much.
Sounds like a good deal. I'll take it.
Oh, God. I walked out, went back to the hotel, got my clothes, and got on the bus and got the hell out of there. It was 1.5 years before Jimmy talked to me again. He finally called me up and says, hey, Schifoso. He says, I got to admit, he says, you're still the best fucking trombone player I ever heard. You're the only one that can play those pretty high ballad things for me. He said, I got to hire you back, but you're a schifoso.
What does that mean, schifoso?
Oh, like a shit asshole,
All of the above.
So we broke it down. We finally got together and had some laughs and did a lot of gigs. And there was one of the gigs after I got back. We're sitting in Brooklyn in this one of those other places, and we got the whole band back there. And Rocky is at the end of the table with a bowl of spaghetti this big around, this tall, 50 meatballs, and just wailing. All the spaghetti's falling all over the place. And one of the kids says, "Hey, Rocky, how many guys are you offed?" And we go, "Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, God, here it comes." And Carmen said, "Yeah, Rocky, the kid's asking you a question. How many guys are you offed?" And Rocky got spaghetti. Again, no neck at all. His head was just, and he's saying, "Well, I don't know, somewhere between maybe 40 or 45, but always business, never personal." We're watching
Wow. Holy shit. That'll put the fear of God in you.